The time is now 7:07. I call the February 19th, 2025 meeting of the Village of Suffern Planning Board to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. All right, first on the agenda, Suffern Supermarket Groceries and Fresh Meat at 92 Lafayette Avenue. It is a sign application. Is anybody here for that? Please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, hi, my name is Maite Shinin, and the address that I'm representing, it's 92 Lafayette Avenue in Suffern. And we're presenting a sign. It's going to be an aluminum board with half-inch PVC letters. Just allow me, what is this one?
Do you have an image of it, by the way?
I'm sorry?
Oh, we have an image? Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Concerns? The building inspector said they passed the final inspection, good to go for the sign. Do we have a motion to approve the sign application?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Halper, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McInerney, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Good luck with your
Hi,
sign.
thank you.
All right, up next, you want to do? Okay, we're going to do Be Beautiful, which is 78 Lafayette, and then we'll get back on. And this is site plan application. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Stuart Augustine. I'm representing Be Beautiful for 78 Lafayette Avenue.
Okay.
Well, so what was the prior use? Do you know what the prior use was, Joanne?
No clue.
It was, I think, an office.
Okay, so this was an office, and this new use is a personal services because it's a hair salon and makeup or something. So it is a change of use, which could require site plan approval. However, section 26660 of the code. In the CB district, the planning board can waive the necessity for a full site plan approval in a circumstance like this. It's a change of use. There's no parking requirements, certainly no change of parking requirements, and there's no parking requirements for personal services in the CB district. So it's up to the board if you want to make them come in for a site plan or if you want to do a finding that the change of use does not require a site plan, a formal site plan approval. I leave that to the board.
Anybody have any comments, questions?
You're leasing a space in an existing building, right? You don't own the building?
Nope.
You're just occupying
It's just a suite.
existing use. I see.
It's
One chair.
It's a tiny, and it's tiny.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the off-game building, I believe, right? Sushi Bada's in the building, Postnet. See
I'm
that
sorry?
building? See the building with Sushi Bada? Same building?
It's next door. It is, there's a deli on the right side, then there's the laser massage.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or concerns? How do you folks feel about waiving the site plan approval?
Seems appropriate in this condition.
I agree.
This case seems appropriate to waive.
So if the board is going to do it, I would just recommend that the motion include that the applicant must, of course, comply with building permit and certificate of occupancy requirements. The building inspector will have to make sure that everything is in order. So
Yeah,
I
of
would just
course,
make
no
that
problem.
a part of it. So if the board's inclined to waive, the motion would be the board reviewed the matter and decided to waive site plan approval pursuant to 266-60 subdivision C. So somebody have a motion on
Do you
that?
have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. McInerney, do we have a second? I'll second that. Mr. Halper, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Best of luck to you. Just make sure you talk to the building inspector on all
Yes,
the
no
other
worries.
issues.
Okay, thank you so much. Good night.
You're welcome.
The application for the sign?
I think I have it.
No, I don't have mine.
No, you didn't get mine back? I can give it up. Okay,
It's the application itself.
next on the agenda, 156, 160 Wayne Avenue, the multifamily project, the revised site plan application.
Do it at the same time.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. As you may recall, my name is Dan Richmond. I'm with the law firm Zarin and Steinmetz. Here on behalf of the applicant, I apologize. Pete Gato, the firm's planning engineering consultant, had a sudden conflict, so I'm appearing on behalf of the applicant. As you may recall, we are proposing a 23 townhouse unit development consisting of 4 3-bedroom units, 19 2-bedroom units, which was intended to be in compliance with conditions of the 2011 zoning that we understand the village asserts. As you may recall, in January, we received a letter from the building inspector, which essentially confirmed that we comply with the 2011 conditions. Thereafter, Pete Gato and Associates submitted more developed site plans. We originally only submitted a concept plan. My understanding, my recollection from our meeting in January is that your board would at this meeting use these plans to direct referral to the various agencies so that, I don't know if it's at this meeting or subsequent meeting, we could set a public hearing. We'll try and answer any questions you may have about the plans, although I am not the planner.
Paul, did you have, I noticed that you were looking at it. Do you have any questions or anybody else?
I think Hudson had some
Okay.
questions about it.
Just asking, we're looking at the specifications on the parking spaces.
Yes.
Are you saying they're 3 foot by 18 foot?
I would honestly have to talk to the planner about what the specifications are. I mean,
Well, I'm looking, that's the only measurement I see on the drawing.
what's that?
The only measurement I see on the drawing is 3 foot by 18 foot.
Yep, is that
That doesn't sound wide enough for a car.
3 foot by 18?
It's right in the middle by the parking spaces, right in the middle there.
Right.
To the right, a little bit.
Yeah, no, I see what it says, 3 feet by 18. I see your point. I don't know if that's just referring to I don't know if that's meant to be to that little.
Yeah, that might be a walkway.
Grass, medium or something. I mean, the planners obviously, has done multiple projects, knows
Do you know what the size is?
I don't.
Anybody else have any comments or questions?
I
or-
do, I have one. The walkways from the townhouse, the doorways, the main doorways that go out through the park spots, how are they, is that just striped, or how does that distinguish between a parking space and the walkway?
What's the intention to be, is it going to be raised? Is that your question?
That's what I'm asking, yes. From here, I can't tell, I mean, because it's interesting that the sidewalk between the parking spaces on 14, 15 have a sidewalk. But this just has this, I don't know if it's a striped area, but my concern is it's the same, it looks like the same width as a parking space. So it's just going to be striped, it's going to eventually become a parking space, I think.
I think that's something certainly we could address, going forward, especially
Okay.
the process if the board would want to raise or somehow distinguish from the parking spaces around it.
Yeah.
I don't see that as a big issue.
All right, anybody else have any comments? So, now we have a complete site plan, we can send it to the county. We also use a planning firm that the village has contracted. Anybody have any thoughts about sending this to Bonnie as well?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to send to her eventually. She might request more information, but I don't know, to me it seems like a wise move.
What would the, sort of the plan be, Mr. Magrino?
Well, depending upon what the board wants to do, this already went to the county, but I think they wanted more detailed plans, which,
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. We got a GML letter already. I wasn't know if that was sort of,
yeah,
Premature.
my suggestion is to resubmit it because they weren't detailed plans and they were asking for detailed plans.
that's probably half their comments, right?
Right, and they also asked to send it to various agencies such as the fire department for their comments about, getting apparatus in there. So, what the board could do is set a public hearing now for sometime in the future, either March or April. Send it to county planning, send to county planning, either establish an escrow tonight or send it to Bonnie and ask her how much of an escrow she recommends. That's the planner.
Can I say Bonnie NPV?
Yeah, MPV, yeah.
Yep. Or are we better off, Joanne, sending it to Bonnie and letting her set the escrow amount?
Well, we need to know so he can say.
Yeah.
Typically is it 2,500 or 3,500 or?
At least on something this big.
Yeah, I would think 3,500. You'll get it back, obviously, if it's
not used.
If it's not used, so it's an escrow. So I think if the board wanted to set 3,500 tonight, you could declare your intention to serve as lead agency and then just circulate that and then start the process again in either March or Aprral.
So the public hearing, Rob,
I'm sorry?
the public hearing, would we wait until we have like a full site plan application for that? Or do you think it's better to go with that
I
early?
think
Well,
we have
you have what he has. The public hearing, it starts, that could go on for, as long as necessary. So I don't have a problem from a legal perspective, like I said, starting in March or April. And then obviously continuing it, the board may have questions, the public may have questions, they have to go back, et cetera, the usual process. So
Okay.
that's up to the board. But so if, I would, does that sound like a plan in terms of setting escrow? Is everybody good with that?
I'm good with that, and then
Okay.
also declaring lead agent.
Right, so we'll do separate motions, one to establish an escrow in the amount of $3,500 for review by Nelson Pope.
All right, so let's do that one first. Do we have a motion to establish a $3,500 escrow for Nelson Pope to review this site plan?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Stansbridge, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McInerney, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. And then the second one is
You want to declare your intention to serve as lead
Okay.
agency?
Do I have a motion to declare the Village of Suffern Planning Board's intention to serve as lead agency under SECRA?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Stansbridge, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. McInerney, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And then it would be, if you want to schedule a public hearing, or you want to wait, whatever the board's pleasure.
What are you thinking?
I think we should wait, let's get all the paperwork in a row before we even have to answer questions about it. If we don't have the appropriate paperwork, how can we answer anything?
Okay. This should be back, by the next meeting, right?
So maybe put it on for March.
What the date is.
Why don't you just put it on for, it's the 19th, but you could put it on for the March meeting. You would get a lot of stuff, if
Yeah,
stuff
but
is
we're
still.
not gonna get it back in 30 days, probably.
Right, but it's already been there once, so.
Right.
Does anything start a clock ticking in terms of days, Rob?
No, well, again, you declared intention to be lead agency, so no, it's not a complete application until the secret is done anyway, so.
Okay.
But, no, you can, if you want to adjourn until March for purposes of, getting things in, getting Bonnie on board, getting her initial reaction. You could, on March, set the public hearing for April.
Want to do that?
I think so.
All right, so motion to adjourn until March.
Yeah.
I have a motion to adjourn this matter until the March 2025 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Halper, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
That's March
Mr.
19th?
I believe so. Mr. Van Sickle, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. So we'll hold that over, and then hopefully we can provide a lot more.
Thank you very much.
Clarity.
If I could just clarify, it's 3/19/25, right?
Right, March
That-
19th?
Yeah.
March 19th.
That's what, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time. Look forward to seeing
you.
you next month.
All right, next up on the agenda, Le Chocolat, 1 Ramapo Avenue, site plan application.
Oh.
Why did they do this?
Yeah, because it was, I couldn't understand that.
Put anything in there.
Is that a conflict of interest?
Very detailed.
We got samples in the parking lot like a year ago.
This is brand new, so they'll go over it.
I'm just opening the meeting tonight with, I would like to, my name is Simon Rattenberg. I'm here already 10 years neighboring in the village of Suffern. I can express the words that all my years over here, I was accommodated with the village, with all of you, and the building inspectors. The fire department, the police department always worked with me, and I really feel it's a safe place, and it's a blessing for me to be staying here in the village of Suffern. Years went by with Corona and all the stuff, and we're all here again. Month by month, my colleagues were working through every detail and detailed. I couldn't even take so much the details, what they went through, and they were really working hard to come through that it should be, hopefully, I should be staying here as a neighbor, as I feel the years that I grew out. It's all tight inside. Matter of fact, I'm getting a lot of times a complaint from the FDA that it's too tight over here. All these chocolates and boxes and stuff. And we're trying to expand just the warehousing, and hopefully I really feel that it's going to be accommodating me to come through a really true nice building. With and it should, as I see all these years, it's all safe and made nice, and all the other buildings that are built here. And I'm just giving over to the colleagues that should about the details. And I want to thank you again for taking my planning as of March, as of February 19, 2025, and hopefully to stay and grow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Ira Emanuel Law, PC, New City. I'm the attorney for the applicant. I have with me Avi Weinberg from Weinberg Lynn Engineering, who is the civil engineer, and Rob Bernstein from Built Architecture, who is the architect for the firm. I normally don't start out a presentation with the client addressing the board, but the client insisted that he wanted to address you to let you know how much he appreciated being in the village of Suffern, how much he is committed to staying in the village of Suffern, how much being in the village of Suffern has helped to grow his business to the point where he really needs to expand and wants to expand here in the village. So with that, let's get into perhaps less poetic aspects of this and more technical aspects. We were here last in January of 2023 on an informal basis. At that meeting and a couple of meetings prior, we had noodled around with a couple of different ideas, all of which were based upon an expansion of the project. We had talked about perhaps a three-story parking garage. We had talked about the potential of a cafe. We had talked about the potential of relocating the concession stand. None of those seem to interest either the village board or this board, and so we've come back with something that is really basically, it's called Le Chocolat, but we've got a plain vanilla project here for you, which is a relatively simple expansion upward and also a little bit outward. Right now, the plant does not include a corner at the corner of Route 50 at Rampo Avenue. He's since acquired or reacquired that parcel, and so as before, he wants to expand his parking area and bring it also one level down. Okay, so by doing that, we had, one of the objections that the board had with the multi-level parking garage that we had had before was that they were concerned about the impact on the houses that were immediately across the street. So by eliminating the above ground level and simply going down, we'll still have just the grade level parking as it's viewed, and obviously we'll provide landscaping and try to protect those houses as much as possible. For the same reason, we don't have any entrances or exits on that street. As I said, this is a relatively simple project compared to some of the things that we were talking about before. And with that, I want to turn it over to Avi. He'll walk you through the site plan, and then we'll give it over to Rob Bernstein, who'll go through the building itself and how that's going to work. At the end of which, we'd be asking the board to declare its intent to be lead agency. We'll discuss whether or not it's ripe for sending out for GML into the agencies, and we'll also talk about next steps.
Now, just before the engineer starts, are there any variances required for this? Okay, so the engineer will address that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're looking at an unlisted action with a coordinated review.
And just to clarify on the variances, by the way, Avi Weinberg, Weinberg Lim Engineering, the engineer for the applicant. Just to clarify on the variances, I think there are like 6 or 7 of them, mostly area variances, and I think pretty much all of them, maybe except for one, are pre-existing conditions because of the building that I was told by the attorney we would just need to go back to the zoning board. That's just part of the process. Again, as Ira mentioned, this building is going up. We're not expanding the footprint. We are taking what we have and we are going up. I'm just going to touch on one item about the building, and Rob will get into it more. As Sam had mentioned, he desperately needs to expand. I've been in this building a few times, throughout the course of this project. I could see it myself, and if the FDA is saying he needs to expand, I don't think you need my opinion. He needs to expand. This is a split-level building. If Rob will walk through more. There's a split. I'm just going to show you here. If I can show him from the plan.
You need to speak into the mic because of otherwise it doesn't get picked up.
Somewhere in the middle over here, there is a little bit of an open area, a grass patch area in the middle. Rob will talk about that more. That is the only area that's being closed up. But we are not expanding out in any of the directions. We are taking this existing building and pushing up. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the site features. Rob will obviously get more into the building. As Ira mentioned, we're taking it from what was supposed to be a 3-level parking garage, where one of them would be at grade, one of them below grade, one of them above grade, so it would look to the typical person, and especially to the neighbors, like a parking garage, as you would typically see. And obviously, the board objected to that. Understandably, that no one would want to be living, especially in a village like the Village of Suffern, no one would want to be living with their backyards facing a parking garage. So what we have done is we have kept the level, the ground level, or the main level, which is at grade with Ramapo Avenue, And instead, we have gone down one level. We do need more parking than what is on one level. We went down to a second level, but that is being dug out. The grade over here of these houses on West Park Place are much higher than Ramapo Avenue. So to anyone standing on the street or in the building or in any of these backyards, it looks like they're looking at a regular parking lot behind them. But they're not really looking at that because we have also provided screening along the entire perimeter of the property, except for on Ramapo Avenue, because we need proper sight distances for the trucks to see, which we provided in our set of plans. Lighting, though we will, you know, we provided a lighting plan. There will not be any increase in foot lumens. There will be 0 foot lumen lighting foot candle lighting, sorry, at all property lines, again, to protect the neighbors. Currently, people seem to be parking all over the place. We are now taking all that, we are putting that in this parking lot. In addition to that, we've provided a truck turnaround. We've got these 2 additional loading docks that the client needs. I know there are now 5 proposed loading docks. Previously, there were 9. You guys asked us why so many. And the applicant said, because that's what the code said, but I don't really need all that. So I think that's actually one of our variances. We're going to go to get a decrease in loading docks. No, if we don't need more, we don't want more truck traffic. So we've got the existing loading docks here. We've got the 2 loading docks for the box trucks here. We've provided proper circulation. We've got the ramp down that's just for cars. And again, we've protected the neighbors here. Stormwater is down in the lowest area over here. There's really not that much that's needed, considering that the bulk of the site is already a building. And I think that is pretty much it. And again, the building is just going up, but all the lighting and everything is definitely going to be much more beautified than its current state. And all lighting will be shielded from the neighbors. And with that, I'll let Rob talk more about the building itself.
All right, good evening. My name is Rob Bernstein from Build Architecture, and I'm the architect for the applicant. I was here about a year ago presenting. We did a lot of modifications to the site and the building to make it more plain vanilla. Like Avi said, we've eliminated the cafe. That was just an idea because he has a chocolate factory, have a small cafe, maybe coffee, across from the train station, so that was eliminated.
Can I ask you a question? Hold on. Why was that eliminated?
I believe that
I was looking forward to it. I don't know about you guys, but I was like,
honestly,
I thought Mr. Emanuel said that. I'm like, he didn't say that, did he?
Yeah.
No, right. There were a couple of members from the board that expressed great interest in it. However, the process, you know, with getting a use variance and all that.
It's a use issue. It's not.
It's a use issue, and we just got, yeah.
The problem is that the zone does not allow, I'm sorry, the problem was that the zone did not allow it. And so, as we looked at it, and as we looked at all the issues that were involved, and we had also gotten some feedback that perhaps it wouldn't be the best idea. We thought it was a great idea.
I thought it was a great
Obviously,
idea.
you thought it was a great idea. Well, we'll have to find some other way to deal with this.
Did anybody, you guys didn't think it was a good idea?
If it makes you feel any better, I'm glad they took it out, because a use variance is difficult to get. There wouldn't be really a basis to get a use variance.
We would not.
They'd have to get a zone change.
Right. That's exactly it. It would require an amendment to the zone. We wouldn't even try to get a use variance because, as I agree with Mr. Magrino, we probably are not eligible for one. And frankly, there were other things that took precedence. But I agree with you. A small cafe or a coffee shop in that
it's
location.
It's already across from the train station. I mean, location. Didn't that real estate people talk
Mr. Chairman,
about?
that is why we thought about it.
Talk to Village Hall. You got to talk to the board.
I thought we were getting a cafe over
Go.
Right.
You know what, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a deal with you. Okay, if you can get the village to do a text amendment to this zone within the next 2 months, okay, we'll talk about putting that cafe back in.
I thought you misspoke when you first started. I was like,
I tried to slide it through, though.
All right.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. You know that I never want to disappoint you, Mr. Chairman.
That's right.
No, we don't want Starbucks. We don't want Starbucks. We want Le Chocolat
coffee and chocolate.
House
That's
there.
what
Exactly.
I thought we were doing. So,
all right, I'm a little disappointed, but please continue.
So, all right, so we digressed a little bit. So, If you know the existing building, there's two parts to the basement. The front part of the building, which actually is a first floor and a basement existing, but the building in the back really isn't a basement because it's on grade. And even though it does flood, we're going to mitigate that in the future as we go through the design, the architectural design. But the issue is because it's split, when they originally built the building, there's a 2,000 square foot area behind the building that's grass, that's up on the same level as the existing basement. Somewhere back in here. So once we cover the building, there's no use for that grassed area. So we're going to include that area in the upper level basement.
Where
we'll
is it? Can you point to it again?
It's somewhere. So the existing building stops about here. The upper the one in Ramapo. That building is a first floor, as you know, on Ramapo, but there's a basement below it. Right behind it, between this area and the building behind it, is
something like this.
It's a small patch of grassed area with a couple of air conditioners.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
I think even in the center, it could be this
Wait,
connection to both sides.
there's a stair
Right.
here.
Right, so I think it's just it's an enclosed also in the courtyard.
Yeah.
You're counting the differences, and we'd just be closing it out.
So we're going to close that up now because.
We're not going to pick any of that conversation up because if you're not talking into that mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just to clarify, and the surveyor didn't even pick it up because internally, there's like, I guess you could call it a courtyard, a little grass area, and it's not flat, it's sloped because one, ground level to, to the other is different, but there is a staircase that connects the two of them on both sides. So it is essentially one building, but with almost like a split level building. And we want to enclose that area and build up.
So the idea is that we're going to leave both basements as is. The basement in the back, which is about 6 feet lower than the basement in the front, what we're going to do is, with the first floor, with the building in the front right now, that you can see from Ramapo Avenue, that building is going to continue back. The floor is going to be level all the way. There'll be a 6 foot height difference between the two, but when it's constructed, we're going to leave the roof and just build on top of it. That's something that we've done in the past in other projects. And then we're going to put a second level over that. So from Ramapo Avenue, you'll see 2 stories. It's all going to be manufacturing from front to back for those 2 stories. On the first floor, as you come towards the back of the building, I'll just over here, we're going to put 2 loading docks on the parking deck. They're not going to be tractor trailers, so we're going to design it for heavier loads, but more of like panel trucks, 26-foot trucks. They come in here a couple of times a week, unload on the first floor level because the basement is very low in the back, and there'll be a small storage, there'll be elevator access with freight elevators to get to the different levels. So we'll have the basement, which is going to be storage in both the lower part and the upper part. They do have a couple rooms in the basement now for the staff to be able to have a break room. First floor is going to be basically 23,000 square feet of manufacturing. And then the second floor over that will also be 23,000 square feet of manufacturing. So you'll have the 2 stories here. What we did add is, on top of that, a 3rd floor, but the 3rd floor is only about 9,000 square feet. And we set it back from the street. So it's going to be, instead of it being here, it's all the way back here. So we'll have an open terrace that faces the train station. We can use it for people to sit out, but only employees. It's not going to be for the public to come up and use it. And we have administrative offices on the 3rd floor that's set back, I think, about 20 feet from the road, so it's going to be hard to see. And that's the extent of the building.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
I have a few questions. Where do I start? So you're putting new loading docks in. Are you going to be removing the loading docks that are currently on the sort of planned north side of the site? Will you still need those?
No, those will be staying.
Those are staying.
Those are staying, and there is an easement for access there.
And I had requested any information on the easement. I think the lawyer told the board we needed to be educated, and we didn't
Well,
get it.
in our comment letter, we provided the deed. It's included in our response to comments. It was an 18-page
You got it
packet.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what page that's on?
Well, I guess
I didn't see it, but I'm sure you
2, 3,
totally understand
4,
if I missed it.
pages 5 and 6 and 7.
5 and 6.
Here, if you even want, here, I could give you
Keep going.
a copy of it.
I believe we previously provided the actual easement documents to Mr. Magrino. And if he can't find them, if he doesn't have them, happy to provide them again.
Send them again. Yeah, I'll take a look at the file.
Yes.
That's page 6, okay.
Page 4, yeah. I just want to make one correction to what Rob said. When he talks about the terrace, it will not be open to the public except for the chairman. You are more than welcome to...
I appreciate it. A little coffee machine up there, I'm good with that.
And we'll have a coffee station.
Well, I was gonna ask that, we put a little cart out front or something.
And then a few other questions. I still don't see the easement information, but I can get it from Rob. The variances you're requesting, it looks like you're asking for front yard, minimum side yard, rear yard. Is that, and development coverage, is that because of the, what's driving those variances? Is it the parking structure, or is it?
No, it's that the building literally touches, as you can see here, almost touches the property line.
So the existing building?
The existing
almost
building.
touching, so you need to.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
So
existing
any
on-
action we would take,
So we're enlarging that encroachment by going up, and that triggers the need for variance.
And it's, but the development coverage is not an existing condition, that's because
That's
you're.
correct.
that is not, but until now,
Is that
there's...
related to the parking lot?
Yes, we need more parking. Right now, people are parking around here. We're going to take all that away, and people are now going to park on the lot. We've got this 2-hour parking that exists there, the 2-hour parking signs. I don't know if you guys have all seen them. Right, Sam? People are running in and out to move their car and basically parking there all day. We're actually proposing, as part of this plan, to change that to no parking anytime signs, and all the parking is going to be on the lot.
But the parking lot seems to be built within what you've identified as the side yard distances and others. Is that not related to the variance? Like if I look at your parking plan, on the left it says 50-foot side yard, but you have...
I will have to check
structure
the
within
code.
it?
I know every code is different about whether parking is allowed. Usually it's the front yards where they don't allow it. I will have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
But regardless, we would need that side yard variance because of the building. And with the parking lot, there isn't really another way to configure it.
Yeah, and also the front yard, it says, it looks like it's your parking structure, your 2-level parking structures within the setbacks. I'd just like to make sure that there's not a variance required for that.
Well, yeah, again, the variance is required regardless whether it's the building or the
Yeah,
structure,
it'd
but
just
it's the
be
building
clear on
structure.
why you're asking for it.
What was
I
that?
guess. It'd be just good to be clear on
Yeah.
why you're asking for it.
Okay. Right.
And then I have a copy of the village zoning book, and it has a map in it, and the map has been copied about 1,000 times, so it's really super blurry. But on my map, my blurry map, it looks like the house is in the residential district, and it's just the existing building is in the manufacturing district. I noticed on your key plan, you lump them together. If you could just verify that the house is not in the residential district. I'm going to show the plan. If we get a planner on board, she'll review it. But I don't trust my map. I'm sure you're right. It just struck me. I just wanted to see if you could verify that.
We'll have to give you a map.
You give me a better map, then I'll stop asking questions about it.
If I understand the question, before I bought a building, the house was together with a commercial building in one zone, in one
Lot.
And they somehow, before I bought a building, they divided it. I don't remember the reason why.
Yeah.
They reminded, but it was one.
I saw you noted that, and it's just my bad map is all. I just wanted to verify it. I'm sure it's all fine.
We will, yeah.
It's been a long while since we've taken a look at that, so I appreciate the reminder.
Yeah. We will look at that, and definitely when we do prepare our application to the zoning board, we'll have those clarified. But we definitely do know there's a long list of variances, most of them are pre-existing, and we do need to go to the zoning board.
Yeah. We'll work with the building inspector on that as well. Make sure we catch everything.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions or comments?
I do. Access to the basement parking area is via the ramp. Is that the only way in? So if you park down there, you got to walk up the ramp to come out?
No, that is the only way in for vehicles. But we worked hand in hand, we spent a lot of time on this with the project architect to make sure that there is direct access to the building. They're not going to have to come up the ramp.
The only reason I'm asking is neither on the building plans or the garage plans, is there any indication as to where there is a doorway from that?
I know we worked through it, I will make sure to show.
I could not locate one, I've looked, so.
Yeah, okay, I will definitely make sure to highlight those entrances, because I know we spent a lot of time on that. But we
I just
made
want to make
sure.
sure if there was an access, because the verbiage says yes, but there's no indication where it is on the plan.
Yeah, we will make sure to show those. We definitely do not want people going up the ramp. There is a direct access into the lower level of the building.
And on the buffing that goes around from the parking garage, what kind of trees are you looking for, like evergreens or that type of?
We wrote on there, future green giants.
I don't know what they are, but.
What's it called? Arborvitae.
What's that?
Green giant arborvitae. They're evergreen, they're used for
okay.
screening, they're very thick, they grow fast.
That's what I wanted to make sure that there was enough.
It's a short.
Yeah, we were
It's a short variety.
very cognizant that we've got residential neighbors across the street.
You got to talk into the...
We were very cognizant that we had residential neighbors across the street. We wanted to protect them to the extent that we possibly could.
Okay.
Do you know how tall that grows, that variety?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I know my partner, he was the one that spent more time, he would know that. I'll get back to you on how tall they are.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Mr. Byrne? No? Okay. Yeah, my only thing, obviously, you know, you've got to have drainage and everything. Does that building, is it affected when the ball field floods, or is it high enough up that it's away? I mean, because I've seen 2-3 feet of water in there, and I'm just wondering, you know, not that it's standing in the way of things, but is that a consideration, and what are you planning to do with it?
Yeah, so there are different methods for waterproofing a building. Once we get further along, we're going to analyze all that, but there's ways to protect the doors, there's ways to protect the walls. Some of them are more cost effective than others. So as we go through the design process, we'll figure all that out.
And it's more concerned about you and your building, even though I'm not getting a coffee shop. But, you know, I mean, I've seen the flooding. It's just, like I said, it's not a joke, that's all.
Yeah, and also I think we were talking about whatever shelving, whatever storage we have in that level, we're going to set it to be higher off the floor, so that way we are higher than the base floodplain.
Okay.
And that's why the storage, that's why Robin talked about that. We're going to put the storage in the rather than the machines.
Right.
And all that. We had several times that the water came just to the garage door. It was, it stopped over there.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. All right, so
One more.
Oh, go ahead.
Are you going to use that as a parking area for storage? The last time you were here, you were talking about some outside storage.
No, I didn't think of that, and I hope that the building will be enough. I hope I'm going to live on the 20, so it's going to get small again, but
So is this like
right now I didn't think of it.
three different,
Yeah, I would do similar to the last one.
all right, you want to do the escrow one first? And
Sure,
then kind of grind
sure.
it attention?
And you can ask Ira about that. Just one comment, I actually did find the file here, but I don't see the easement. So if you just send it to me separately.
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Mack.
the easements?
The easement, I
Yeah, sure,
don't
I'll-
find it handy, but if you just send that to me separately. And I do see Bonnie from Nelson Pope did review this previously, so I think the board will again set an escrow. I just, you know, if you have any objection, you can raise it now, but I think it's
No, it's appropriate.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so first one, oh,
Can you just interject that a minute? There is money in escrow still from the village board.
All right.
Bond looked at that. They've had bonds from the village board.
All right, well, why don't we establish the escrow at whatever the number is, and then the accounting take care of the accounting on it, whatever you got left, as long as it equals, I would suggest again 3,500 and go from there.
Do I have a motion for our intention to have the Village of Suffern Planning Board to be lead agency under
Set the
secret?
escrow first. Don't you want to
Hey,
set-
oh, all right, we'll set the escrow first. Do I have a motion to set the escrow on this project for $3,500 with Nelson Pope?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. McInerney, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Halper, all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. Now you want to do the intention?
Sure.
All right, do I have a motion to declare the Village of Suffern Planning Board our intention to be lead agency under secret?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Halper, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Van Sickle, all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. And then we need a motion.
Just adjourn it to March 19th.
Okay, so we will, we're going to adjourn this until March 19th.
Okay.
And,
Do you believe we're ready to send this out for GML review and the other agencies? You have to send it, you're sending it out for secret anyway.
I would say yes, yeah. So I would,
Does the board do
adjourn it
that
to
by
March
motion?
19th and send it out for appropriate reviewing agencies. Certainly county planning. I don't think, is that Rampo Avenue?
Yeah.
Is that a county road?
No, the only GML feature is Route 202, which is on the opposite side of the railroad tracks.
I don't know if state DOT, it can't hurt to send it to state DOT.
Well, yeah, send it to, because you know why? County Planning Department is
send
going
it
to
to
tell you to
state
send
DOT.
it to state DOT, even though it doesn't have any impact on them anyway. So you might as well send it
Yeah.
out. Send it off to New Jersey Transit, okay, because that's going to pop up also. I don't believe that there's any other regional or state agencies that would be involved, county health, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
but.
We'll see what county planning says, and then we could go
Yeah.
from there. So I think we'll put it on March 19th for control. You don't necessarily have to come. Let's see what comes back. I mean, you're welcome to come in, and then if it's appropriate to set a public hearing that date, we'll set it for April or May. So it's to circulate and adjourn to March 19th.
Do we have a motion to circulate the documents to the appropriate agency and adjourn this matter until March 19th, 2025?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. McInerney, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Stansbridge, all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to working with you on this.
Yeah,
Even without the,
even without the coffee.
while we're still on, for the record, I want to thank Joanne for brownies for my birthday. This is my birthday, 39 again.
Oh, happy birthday.
39, keeps coming up.
How many years in a row is it
The
now?
20th anniversary of my 39th birthday.
Is there any miscellaneous business to discuss?
Yeah. Thank you.
Do we have any old business to discuss?
Minutes. No, minutes. Why don't we do the minutes first? Why don't we do the approval of minutes?
Okay. Do I have,
Anybody look at the minutes of the changes?
who is this guy? Oh, okay.
All right, just-
Why don't we approve the minutes?
Okay. Do you have to do each one separately?
Yeah, why not?
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the July 17, 2024 Planning Board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Halper, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. McInerney, all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for August 21st, 2024 of the Planning Board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Van Sickle, all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. Do we have a motion to approve the October 16, 2024 minutes of the Village of Suffern Planning Board?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Halper, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. McInerney, all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. All right, any miscellaneous? No? Do we have any old business to discuss?
I have some very old business.
Okay, what's that old business?
I'd like to make a motion that we sing happy birthday.
I second that motion.
Can we do a roll call on that?
No, we got it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robert. Happy birthday to you. All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I
Do we
appreciate it.
have any
Thank
new
you.
business to discuss?
We'll be here a while.
All right. Do I have a motion
Start
to
at 50.
schedule the March meeting for March 19th, 2025 at 7 PM?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Halper, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Sandgren, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Sandbridge, do we have a second? I'll second. Mr. Van Sickle, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.